Valtteri, you've been strong all weekend, really until that very final run yesterday. How have you put that disappointment behind you to move on to today? Today is another day. This is when it really counts.
Of course, it was disappointing, but that was yesterday, and today's today. So yeah, there's no point, taking any negative mindset from that. Knowing that everything is still possible today, and at least I know the speed, the pace is there, and that's what counts in the race.
Big gusty winds coming down the pit lane as we speak. How does that change things up? How difficult is that to drive in?
It is a lot windier now than any other points this weekend so far, and yeah, these cars, they're quite sensitive to the wind, so whenever there's like crosswind or tailwind, you actually lose a lot of grip, and if it's gusty, it definitely makes things more tricky and unpredictable, and it can lead to mistakes, and you need to stay out of those.
And you both opted to go on the mediums, different strategy from Red Bull. How much of a threat do you think they're going to be today?
I think at the race start and the first couple of laps, they're going to be really, really strong. So I think that's the critical point for us. But after that, hopefully the medium tire is going to be a bit more robust in the first stint, and we'll see.
Great stuff. If we could have a word in your own language, that would be great.
Aika tuulista tänään, mutta se on sama kaikille ja pitää koittaa vaan sen takia välttää virheet, että aina on myötätulta tai sivutulta, niin aika paljon autosta hävii yhtäkkiä pitoon. Mutta muuten niin me lähdetään tosiaan medium-renkaalla. Mä uskon, että se on pidemmässä juoksussa hyvä valinta. Että tietenkin lähdössä niin ehkä Red Bull, kun lähtee sillä pehmeällä, niin niillä voi olla siinä etulyöntiasema, mutta kisa on lähdön jälkeen vielä pitkä ja totta kai itsellä niin katseet eteenpäin ja keskitytään ottamaan se voitto enemmän kuin keskitytään muihin ketä on takana. Niin
talkative today. Very talkative, yeah. It's great for us. So how are you, Lewis? I mean, congratulations on your 9th pole of the season. 97 of your career. It's quite astonishing, but it wasn't easy, was it? Just how hard did Valtteri make it for you, and indeed the conditions?
Oh yeah, I mean, Valtteri's been doing a great job, and as you see all year, he's been putting in great laps and great performances. So it's I've just been looking over and over the. It's great to see people.
It is, isn't it? Real life humans.
So cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but I had to dig super deep for that, and it's such a difficult circuit, and with the temperatures that we're struggling with the tires, and it's everyone's first time here, so you're constantly improving and learning and growing, and I'm really happy with the end result, of course. But today is a completely different story. It's going to be very tough. You see how windy it is today. So that's going to, and we don't know if the rain's going to come. Who knows? So we have to prepare for the unknown.
Just describe what it's like when you're driving in such windy conditions, and also, as you've touched on, this track surface is quite slippery, isn't it? And then you haven't got the visibility. Just give us some more detail.
Well, all I can say is, I mean, it's you don't have a constant balance through the laps. So, for example, right now we've got a tailwind obviously down into turn 1, so that means ultimately you have a little bit less downforce on the way in, you have the wind pushing you through the corners, so usually the rear end's a little bit should be weaker, but then there'll be places like turn 5 where places where you cross and you just never know when to expect it when it's gusty like this. So it makes for making a lot more mistakes a lot easier. But yeah, so we just got to be on our toes.
Great stuff. Have a great day. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I got to top. Got to show this.
There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay.
Well, I'm down here at Ferrari, got Charles Leclerc in front of me, 4th on the grid. I think the first question I've got to say, what nice words from your teammate, a 4-time world champion, saying you're in your own class when it comes down to qualifying.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot to Seb, but yeah, it's going pretty well at the moment for me. I'm quite at ease with the way the car behaves. We've done some progress in the last few races, which is nice to see. It's surely not where we want to be at, but we are getting closer. So there are some positive signs. The last race was very good in qualifying, struggling quite a lot in the race. So I'm still waiting for the race today to see whether we've made some progress there too.
Yeah, and of course 4th place is a great place to be going down to turn 1. How tricky is that going to be? Because at the moment it's a tailwind. It's going to be very hard, do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky. I mean, we are starting on a medium, which is an advantage, but for the start, it's going to be tricky. So I'll try to make the best out of the start, and hopefully we'll bring a good result home.
Give us a little indication of what it's like to drive around this great Portimao circuit. The elevation that we've got on these little brows we go over, how good is it in the car?
Oh, I love it. I really like the track. I mean, as you said, with the elevation change, I think all of the corners are more or less blind, which makes it very, very difficult to learn the track, even though I knew it already. But to take the rhythm and then in qualifying to do a very good lap on that track feels amazing. And there's also now some fans back, which is always nice to see.
Right, and a few words in your own language.
Oui, donc un week-end positif jusque-là. Maintenant, j'attends la course parce qu'au Nürburgring, on a eu une qualif plutôt positive, mais une course très compliquée. Donc voilà, je vais tout donner en course aujourd'hui et j'espère cette fois amener un meilleur résultat qu'à la dernière course. Thank you.
Perfect, thanks. And here we are. There you go, great stuff. And of course, we've got the man 15th position, probably not where you want to be at all, but tell us about how you're going to sort of deal with the race in the position you're in. I suppose it all depends what happens at turn 1, maybe?
Well, not only. I think it's going to be a long race. Obviously, it's a track that we haven't raced before, so racing into the unknown, and I think that's where our chance is today. So I'm quite looking forward to the race. I think it's a cool track, and yeah, I think we should be better in race trim than where we start now. So let's see what we get today.
It's interesting you say that about race trim. It's something where the Ferrari definitely seems to have improved. What about the tyres? That's something that's been very difficult for you drivers to deal with. How do you think it will be today?
Yeah, I think it's around here mostly due to the new asphalt. So obviously it's very fresh, but it seems to get better throughout the weekend. And I think in the race it will probably be the best conditions we've had so far. There might be some rain on the way, why not? You know, It might spice things up, so I hope it doesn't come too late.
So would you like that to happen then? You want a little bit of rain to come into play?
I'm quite open at that stage, you know, I'm really open to anything.
But it's going to be tricky if that does happen. I would imagine the greasy surface, that new fresh surface, is going to make it even tougher for you.
Yeah, but the same for everyone, so let's see. Obviously, if you start a little bit further back, then mixing things up could well be something you like. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a fun race. It's very windy as well, so a lot of elements that we need to take care of.
Yeah, and of course you're always a very motivated man, but at the end of the day, what are you expecting from today?
Well, it's hard to put a number to it, but I think from where we start, I want to make sure that we finish higher up. So obviously we're aiming for some points.
Right, and a few words in your own language.
Ja, weiß nicht, ich meine, ich freue mich aufs Rennen. Ich denke, es ist eine coole Strecke. Ein bisschen schwer vorher zu sagen, was passiert, ob es regnet oder nicht. Aber ja, ich glaube, das Allerwichtigste ist heute, dass wir gut durchkommen und dass ihr alle gesund bleibt. Und dann schauen wir, wie es weitergeht. Auf jeden Fall viel Spaß.
So Alex, how are you feeling? What's your target today? What's going to be a strong enough performance to secure your future with the team?
Oh.
No pressure.
No, it should be a good one. Obviously, just focus on the race itself, not worried about all that stuff. It should be a good race for us. The car's feeling good, and it's going to be windy and possibly wet. So we'll see if that plays anything to the race, and hopefully we'll get a good result.
Do you quite like those extra variables to deal with?
Yeah.
It kind of opens it up a bit more, doesn't it?
I think so, and I think just because of the circuit as well, it's not that good for overtaking. So anything that can make it exciting, that will help.
Tell us how difficult it's been to switch these tyres on. I know everyone's had the same challenge.
Yeah, it's tricky out there. It's more the soft tyres rather than the medium and the hards. It seems like whatever this track is leaving, it's just hit and miss really. And the feeling of no grip is never fun for a driver. And that's kind of what we're dealing with this weekend. It just feels like, I'm sure there've been a few spins where it just doesn't feel very Formula One-y.
What about these blind crests that we see and these undulations? They call it a roller coaster. Does that make it even more thrilling for you guys to race?
Yeah, I think if the grip was up, this would be amazing, this circuit. it's really unique to go into corners above 200, 250 kilometers an hour, and you don't actually see a corner. It's kind of like that, okay, here we go thing. But it makes it really good. As I said before, these kind of new tracks that we're going to, or new for us anyway, have been really good.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, look, have a great day today. I'm
Thank
sure you will.
Cheers.
Good luck. Thanks. Here we are, Max. That's a nice reception, isn't it? Great to have some fans here.
Not
How
bad,
are you
not
feeling?
bad. Good.
Yeah?
Ready to go.
And yesterday, you're pretty happy with your quali performance? Do you think P3 was the best you could have done? You couldn't have split the Mercedes?
No, I think it was pretty much what we could achieve. I mean, we are still a bit slower than them, but it's not too far that we are apart. So let's see what we can do today. Also, it's going to be a bit more windy and maybe a little bit of rain. Who knows? That would be quite interesting.
And you obviously start on the different tyres to the Mercedes. Do you think that will give you an advantage, or will that make things a bit harder?
I don't know, to be honest. I think nobody really knows a lot about the tyres, so we just go into the race, see what happens, and try to make the best of it.
And just explain to us the difference between the clean and dirty side of the grid, and if you think that will be of benefit to you today as well.
There haven't been that many starts, I guess, on the new tarmac, so I also don't know if it's going to be an advantage or not. So let's just find out during the race.
Fantastic. Word in your own language, please.
Ja, nee, ik denk tot nu toe best wel prima weekend. Het is best wel lastig met het asfalt qua grip en de banden werken te krijgen. Maar we gaan het zien vandaag. Ik denk dat we gewoon weer voor het podium kunnen meevechten en dat is natuurlijk altijd positief.
Fantastic. Thank you. Bye bye.
Well, I'm down here at McLaren. I've got Carlos Sainz, Lando, Norris in front of me, 7th and 8th on the grid. I'll come to you first, Carlos. This is going to be a tough one for you because that midfield pack is so tough and tight. How are you looking forward to it?
It is a big challenge for all of us. A lot of unknowns going into a race, a lot of uncertainties, which is going to make the race even more exciting, more interesting. I think we qualified well, but I think there was a bit of potential for more, so hopefully we can make some places back in the race.
Yeah, is that something from a race point of view, the car really does sort of react in the way that you want it, so you can sort of up your performance against the guys around you?
Yeah, hopefully. I think we have good pace all weekend, so we have the potential to move forward. The difficult bit would be how, I don't think overtaking is going to be that easy. I think the pit stop window is going to be tricky, judging the tires, judging the undercut, the overcut. It's going to be a tricky race for everyone, but normally these tricky races have some good rewards, so let's go and get them.
And overtaken, obviously, going down to a turn one, DRS. Is there any opportunities, do you think, out the back to overtake?
There is. The problem is you need some help from the other guy, If not, it's going to be tricky going side by side into turn one, as you could see with the incidents that we saw on Friday. So you're going to need some space from the guy next to you to make sure you both guys make it around turn one. If not, it's going to be very tricky.
Right, and a few words in your own language.
I hate this. Well, in Portugal, they maybe understand it. Bueno, con ganas de la carrera de hoy, creo que tenemos oportunidades de movernos hacia adelante, sobre todo porque creo que la calificación de ayer fue bien para los dos coches, pero creo que hemos tenido más ritmo que séptimos todo el fin de semana, así que con una buena estrategia y una carrera difícil yo creo que podemos ir hacia adelante.
Great, thanks Carlos. Lando, similar situation for you, great place to start on the grid. What are you looking for from the race? What difficulties do you see coming your way? Because the tides does seem to have been one big issue this weekend.
It is. I think it's a combination of the tarmac here and the wind, and it makes our life very, very difficult. But it's the same for everyone. It's not just us. So we have to try and stay on track, make the most of other people's mistakes throughout the race, and like Carlos said, try and slowly go forward.
Yeah, and what about the race itself? Like I said to Carlos, you've got a real tough battle in front of you. You've got Albon there, Gasly at the same point. But of course, those Renaults with Ricciardo not far behind. How important is it to get that turn one clean, without any issues with anybody else around you. How difficult is turn one?
I'll find out in a bit. It's going to be very tricky, especially on lap one, but it's also going to be quite a deciding factor for the rest of the race. So, yeah, we'll do our best. We'll try and make it through cleanly, stay out of harm's way. But it is a place where you got to take some risks and try and gain a couple of positions if you can, because that's our best opportunity to. So, we'll wait and see. You know, there's not many videos from the past or on boards to see what's the best thing to do. So it's going to be a bit of a free-for-all and a bit of freestyle as we go in, but that's part of it.
Yeah, and what about the car itself? Because it looks as if it's a very, very drivable car. That's only going to be beneficial to you in the race, surely, because if you can get your guys to work the whole way through the race, can you move up a few places during this race?
It's going to be tricky. It's the aim, of course. I feel like we do have a good car. We have a good race car. And as tricky as it is because of the conditions, I think we're still competitive and we still have a good car comparing to a lot of other teams this weekend. So we have confidence, we have a good plan, we just need to make sure we execute it.
So Daniel, P10 today, you had a bit of a spin yesterday, nearly got out though in Q3, just maybe an extra minute or two would have helped you do that. What was possible, do you think, if you had got back out?
I think we could have been probably top 8. Yeah, we were kind of on the edge of the top 10 most of the session, so I think we could have got maybe a couple spots in there, but yeah, I don't think we were strong enough to fight for a top 5 yesterday, but yeah, I'd say quietly more confident today. I think the race should maybe pan out a bit better for us.
So do you feel that you are still making progress as a team? Because obviously McLaren did get a jump on you yesterday.
Yeah, this track's been a little tricky for us, I think, so far. A little bit more like Barcelona, where we were kind of hanging around the outside of the top 10. So we'll see after 66 laps today, but I think we can get inside the top 8 and still walk away with some good points for the team.
But this track obviously comes with a lot of challenges. I'll just ask your teammate about them. And the grip, you know, catching a few people out yesterday, just tell us how difficult it is to drive on.
Yeah, exactly. Very difficult, very challenging, surprising as well, because we were not expecting to have such low grip on this kind of track. We saw the surface was actually quite nice. But it's an awesome challenge, you know. I'm really enjoying driving on this track. Formula One is trying new things this year, and you know, we are loving coming to a venue like this, and be back in Portugal feels amazing.
I mean, it is cooler, it's windier, there's a chance of rain. I mean, judging by Daniel's outfit, you'd think we were in the Arctic.
Yeah, it's a bit extreme, I think. I went for the low cooling, basically.
How much of a difference will it make, though, this extra wind, do you think, Daniel?
I think, yeah, it looks so far the rain is going to come probably later. When I say later, it might miss the race. So I think that the biggest challenge will probably be the wind. And yeah, I mean, for the fans listening, what the wind does is just makes it more uncomfortable. I mean, it really does affect the way the car feels, and you slide more, you have less grip. And so yeah, I mean, it's the same for everyone. So I don't think it should change the dynamic of the race. Maybe you see more mistakes. But yeah, I think, I don't know, when it gets to this point of the day, I'm just ready to go racing now, so that's all I can really think about.
Talking of challenges, you were saying to Esteban that you could probably launch a bottle and get to the McLaren garage.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to try it, but you know, what do you do to kill the time between now and the race, other than throw bottles at McLaren?
That's what we're thinking about, yeah, but he's saying he can reach them, but I don't think he can. But now they're gone, so we'll never know.
Yeah, like, I don't know, you warm up, you do actually do some things, like get some balls and stuff, and yeah, we basically spend the next kind of 45 minutes warming up, stretching and getting ready for the race. So obviously once a race starts, it's like, you know, you're at 100% straight away and the intensity is high, so you want to make sure that you're warm, and obviously also your muscles are ready to go, so you don't strain anything on lap 1 of 66.
Listen, good luck today. Thank you for your time. Get a quick word with you in French, please, Esteban.
Bien sûr, bien sûr. Je pense que ça a été un week-end pas super facile pour notre part. C'est un week-end où on a eu des difficultés avec la voiture. Mais voilà, il va se passer énormément de choses. On aura de belles opportunités en piste. Il y a du vent. Il peut y avoir de la pluie qui va arriver. Voilà, je pense qu'on a toutes les chances de notre côté pour faire un bon Grand Prix. Et on espère bien sûr revenir dans les points, voilà, dans de bons points.
Café la seconde, bonjour.
Well, I'm here down at AlphaTauri. I've got Danny Kvyat 13th and of course Pierre Gasly there in 9th. Now you've had a bit of an interesting weekend, obviously, with that fire that you had in the car. You did pop out of it rather quickly, I have to say. Yeah. How was all that, and you know, has everything been a positive since then?
Yeah, it was pretty tricky on Friday with the fire at the back of the car. So yeah, it was kind of strange what happened there. But yeah, I saw the smoke coming out. I just tried to extract it from the car as fast as I could. And the guys had to rebuild a full new car overnight. They had barely an hour of sleep between Friday and Saturday. So honestly, what they did was amazing, and especially because in P3 went out and the car worked straight away. We were very competitive. There wasn't one single problem on the car. So big thanks to them. And yeah, after that, the feeling was good. Was happy to make it to Q3. Bit disappointed with the P9. I think there was slightly more, but in these windy conditions, we're still struggling a bit. So one area to improve for us, and looking forward for the race now.
And what about today? Obviously, it's quite windy. The grip level hasn't changed so much over the last couple of days. How tricky is the race going to be?
Yeah, that was very surprising. The grip stayed pretty much the same, and no real track evolution. And the wind makes it very challenging and very difficult. From lap to lap, it's completely changed. You need to adapt really quickly and really react to the conditions you get. So I think the race will be quite interesting. We have no references from FP2 from the past years, so we go a bit with the flow and hoping that what we predict is good. But yeah, we'll have to react based on what's happening in the race, and yeah, I think it should be a pretty exciting one.
And a few words in your own language.
Oui, du coup, ça a été un vendredi un peu compliqué avec le petit problème technique qu'on a eu avec le feu à l'arrière de la voiture. Les mécanos ont dû réparer la voiture complètement de vendredi à samedi. Ils ont dormi qu'une heure pendant la nuit, donc ça a été vraiment compliqué. Un grand merci à eux parce que la voiture a tout de suite fonctionné en FP3. On a eu une bonne qualif, content de faire la Q3. Après, un peu déçu de la 9e place, j'aurais aimé être un tout petit peu mieux, mais bon, on a un peu de mal dans les conditions actuelles avec le vent, donc c'est quelque chose qu'il va falloir améliorer. Et voilà, après pour la course, on va essayer de se battre au maximum et d'essayer d'aller chercher quelques points.
Cheers. Danny, 13th on the grid. There's an opportunity today, I think, because I think it's going to be someone who thinks about what's happening in the race. The tyres are going to be very important as well to keep them clean. How do you feel about today?
Yeah, I think against a new track for everyone, it will be interesting to see how everyone is going to react, you know, with the tires, with the strategy and things like that. There are plenty of things to look after today, and it can become a very challenging and an interesting race with many opportunities, so hopefully we'll be there to grab them.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be really good for you because you've got sort of Stroll around you, you've got Ocon there at the same time, your teammate. You know, this is going to be something you're going to have a lot of fun with because the track just looks fantastic to drive around.
Yeah, it does. It does look fantastic. Of course, the grip conditions are very challenging here. Like we didn't expect this little amount of grip, so it makes things a bit more challenging for everyone. And it can become, like I said, you know, a race where we'll have to really adapt ourselves quickly. We don't have references on this track from previous years, and will be interesting to see what we can come up with today.
A few words in your own language, please.
Гонка сегодня может стать очень интересной, очень много разных вопросов по поводу резины и так далее, по поведению машины. Посмотрим, как будут вести себя шины сегодня. Возможно, придется делать много интересных решений в течение гонки. Thanks.
Well, I bet you just can't wait to get racing, can you? You obviously had that early DNF in Russia, missed Germany. I bet you're itching to get it back out there.
Yeah, it's been a while, for sure. I'm very excited to get back out there. You know, we're not starting the best place today, so yeah, hopefully, you know, we can gain some positions and score some good points today.
Tell us about yesterday. You seemed to be a bit unlucky with the wind, caught out. Could have probably got through to Q3 were it not for that. What do you think was possible?
Yeah, there was definitely a few things that didn't go our way, but everyone was in the same boat yesterday, dealing with the tricky conditions. So yeah, we are focused on today now, and like I said, hopefully score some good points.
And despite the bad luck, the team is still P3 in the championship, which is fantastic. This car is definitely strong on race day. So what is the target?
For sure. We're in a great place in the championship. But it's very tight. It's very tight between us, McLaren, Renault. So we got to keep it up until the end of the season.
All the very best
Thanks.
today. Just get your teammate in here. What a day that was for you yesterday. You described yourselves as being lost on Friday and yet P5 yesterday. Just what happened and how much of a team effort was it to pull that back?
Yeah, it was a great team effort. I think we definitely took the right directions, and yeah, as you say, we were so lost on Friday. We were so far off the pace. The car was nowhere. So yeah, we did a great recovery, and I think we managed to get a good result for today's race. I'm happy also to be on the clean side of the track, and hopefully we get a good start, and we are in the mix with the big boys.
How much of a difference does it make to be on the clean side, do you think?
We'll see. We'll find out later on, but I think here, or especially in the last couple of races, I've been on the dirty side in circuits where there is more running, and I did struggle. So we'll see here. I expect that people can suffer from the dirty side.
So the aim and intention is to try and take Charles in the first lap, and do you think you've got the race pace to get on the podium, or will it be dependent on other variables kicking in?
Not really. I think Red Bull and Mercedes are a step ahead from us this weekend. We seem to be closer. I mean, I qualified half a second from pole yesterday, so I don't know how the race pace is going to be. I think there are a lot of uncertainties today, but yeah, we'll aim for that podium.
Excellent stuff. Right, quick word in your own language, please.
Sí, ya estamos listos para empezar la carrera. Creo que llevamos hasta ahora un muy buen fin de semana y esperemos cerrar con broche de oro y tener una excelente carrera.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Down here at Alfa Romeo, Antonio Giovinazzi in front of me. Well, today is going to be an interesting one. You're 17th on the grid. But tell me about this track. There isn't much grip, but you must have a lot of fun around here.
Yeah, like you say, I think with more grip it can be a little bit more fun. But it's like that. It's really nice. You have a lot of up and down. Look like when you are in the roller coaster. We'll see in the race. Will be, I think, really difficult to overtake because turn one is quite fast. But we need to see how we sit on the race.
So what about today for you? There's been a lot of talk about how the graining, especially on the left front, has been quite difficult to control. Is that something that you can control, and then that will enable you to maybe move up the pack a little bit because it's so tough in that bunch in front of you?
Yeah. Sorry, I cannot.
Okay, the tyre's very, very tough, but how difficult is it going to be to maybe look after that tyre, but give yourself a chance of passing a few people in front, which is very tight?
Yeah, it will be really tight again. We don't know because in FP2 we didn't make much run on high fuel, so we don't know how we see the degradation on the tyres. We had a little bit of graining so far, so this will be, I think, the only problem. But we'll see on the race. I think we need to have again a good first lap, try to gain some position there, and then we see to have a good strategy for the race.
What are you expecting about the wind as well? Because the wind, I have to say, seems to be worse today than it has been for the last 2 days. Do you think?
Yeah, we saw already yesterday that as soon the wind increase, the car has been look like quite sensitive. So today it will be more tough with more wind, and but in that will be the same forever. So this is not a problem.
There's talk of rain coming, which I've heard many, many times before. Is the rain going to come? Is that going to benefit you?
When rain is coming, everything can happen. So maybe yes or maybe not. Who knows?
A few words in your own language.
Sì, sarà una gara sicuramente difficile con le condizioni che abbiamo, tanto vento, poco grip, quindi anche la strategia sarà importante. Dobbiamo cercare di fare un bel primo giro e poi cercare di essere nella strategia migliore e portare a casa il miglior risultato possibile.
Great. Okay, well, Well, I'm down here still with Alfa Romeo, obviously. Kimi Raikkonen in front of me. Now, this track is very slippery. You've got some rally experience. This must suit you down to the ground.
Unfortunately, it's not the fastest way to go around if you go sideways, but yeah, obviously it has improved a bit from Friday, but it's still, I think it's the new tarmac that it takes a while before it starts to work great. So yeah, but it's the same for everybody, and for sure it made it more difficult. But I don't know if it's going to rain today. It's going to be quite interesting, but we'll see what we get.
What about the race itself? Lando Norris was sort of saying you can't really attack the circuit because of the lack of grip. Is that something you actually enjoy because of all the undulations you have here in Portimao?
Yeah, I think it would be a really nice track if we could have, let's say, more normal grip, but obviously it makes it also more challenging with the grip like it is right now. But no, in a way you need to attack to try to get the lap time, but it's a fine line to get it a bit over or just staying on the right limit. But yeah, we'll see how the race goes, and we'll try our best.
What about the first corner then, Kimi? Is there an opportunity there to maybe, if there's a kerfuffle going on in front of you, you're going to come out of that? Because I think you use your brain fairly well in those situations.
Well, it's hard to say. Sometimes you get it right. It doesn't matter what you do. If something happens in front of you and you have nowhere to go, but yeah, it's the first time here, and it's quite a narrow part of the track, so we try to stay out of issues and make a good first few corners and go from there.
And a few words in your own language, which I know this is the best part of your weekend.
Fastest, I think. Katsotaan, tietenkin uusi rata ja aika liukkaan tuntusta ollut, että voi olla, että sataakin tänään vielä, niin aika mielenkiintoista tulee, mutta pitää saada hyväkin.
I know P18 is not where you'd want to be. I know this is an uncertain time in your career, but I kind of sense that you like a bit of unpredictability. Yeah. And you know, look up at the sky, I see some clouds, you can feel that wind and a bit of rain. It's going to mix things up today, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's oh, thanks God, I switched off the engine. Oh, good, good timing. I was checking the radar on the pit wall just behind you to see if there's any rain around, because obviously that could. I don't know if it could play on our hands, but everything that can happen on track, obviously. Is a bonus for us because the raw pace is not here. So, you know, as always, we will do our best and we're gonna give it all. And if things turns out to be okay for us, why not a little bit more points from Nürburgring, you know?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say you scored points last time out. Doesn't mean it can't happen again today.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be very happy to do so. 6 races left before the end of the season. I don't know if I'm gonna be here next year, so I'm gonna enjoy all of them and. You know, make sure that I do what I do best is I give 100% of myself.
And have you enjoyed going to these different circuits? You know, we weren't expecting to be here. It makes a nice change.
Very true. It's been a really good season, discovering some new tracks or rediscovering some new tracks. Nürburgring, Mugello, coming here, and Turkey, Imola. It's been great, really, and I was happy to be part of that special season because racing some of the circuits with the modern Formula 1 car has been absolutely outstanding.
Fantastic. A quick word in your own language, please.
Ouais, on va voir un petit peu comment les conditions météo évoluent. Il fait plus froid, il y a plus de vent, il y a des chances de pluie peut-être pour la course. Donc on espère que ça peut jouer dans notre sens. On n'a pas une voiture extrêmement rapide. Donc plus il se passe de choses en plus et plus il y a d'éléments perturbateurs. J'ai envie de dire mieux c'est pour nous et on va essayer de, comme d'habitude, de tirer le meilleur de ce qu'on a.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Bonne chance. Kevin, how are you feeling about today? Are we going to get one of those lightning starts from you? You could do with one, couldn't you?
Yeah, I could. I mean, I'm going to try. I always try, but I think today there is a chance of rain later on, and we might, you know, try and do a bit of a risky move and try and, you know, get something out of that. But yeah, for sure, a good start, and then see how the race unfolds.
And what about this circuit? Do you enjoy it? I know it's not easy, and talking to everyone, the challenges are hugely varied as well.
Yeah,
it's not really like anywhere we've been before.
Not really. I mean, it's pretty unique in the layout and also, you know, all the elevation. and even the surface is pretty unique as well. I think it's pretty low grip, so it's tricky. You really need to, it's very easy to make mistakes, and you need to be quite precise with the car. So, and it's windy as well today, more than any of the other days. So that could change things as well.
I mean, that certainly makes it hard to predict for us. Hopefully, entertaining for the fans. What's it like for you as a driver?
Yeah, it's good fun, and as you said, it's hard. It's one of these weekends where it's a bit hard to predict things, and we've also not had a huge amount of running in high fuel on these tires, so not many people know what the tires are gonna behave like, and there's graining. It's very cold, so that makes it even trickier on the tires. And so we'll see. I mean, last weekend in Nürburgring, the harder compounds worked, and we all thought they were going to be difficult, so there's a lot of unknowns and an opportunity, I guess.
Fantastic. That is the key word. Opportunity.
Exactly.
Great stuff. Have a great race today, and if you could just have some words in your own language, please.
Yeah. Prøver måske noget lidt anderledes I dag, og håber på regnvejr, så det krydser jeg fingre for.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Down at Williams, Nicholas Latifi 20th, George Russell 14th. You must be happy with that performance.
Indeed. I mean, Q2 was the aim. We got in there and was only a tenth and a half away from P11. So for us, that was pretty huge. Really pleased with that, and it was a good boost for the guys.
What about the track? How good is it driving round here? Again, the Williams is one thing, but even so, it doesn't matter. It's a Formula One car round this circuit.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, Formula One's about the best of the best, isn't it? You know, best drivers, best teams, and we need the best tracks, and this is one of them. So it's a joy to drive, and hopefully we come back again.
Well, the car can't be that bad to be 14th. What are you expecting for the race?
You know, realistically, we know where we are. We're fighting with the Haas and the Alphas. We've got Sebastian behind me, so hopefully make a good start, keep him behind, and pick off anybody ahead who makes mistakes. So it's going to be tricky even now. It's really windy. There's going to be a lot of mistakes out there. Nobody knows what the tyres are going to do, so we've got to be ready to pounce.
Do you reckon that would be a very key thing for this race, especially that front left? You've got to look after it big time. If you do, you're going to get a big advantage from that.
Definitely. I think it's going to be a race of discipline, patience, looking after the tyres, because I think it will really come to you in the latter phase of the race, and especially if the temperatures are dropping and rain's underway, who knows what's going to happen. So it's going to be tricky, and I think it can be an exciting race.
So who are you looking forward to racing in the race? Who's around you? Who do you think, right, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to take you down?
I guess Sebastian. I mean, I've had a good couple of good fights with Sebastian recently. He starts someone behind me, so I guess trying to keep him at bay and what have you. So last time I battled with him last week, I ended up almost on my roof. So hopefully history doesn't repeat itself. But nevertheless, yeah, everybody really. We just got to get stuck in and have a good one.
Yeah, we've been watching that. Enjoy it. Enjoy the race. Nicholas, obviously 20th. Today, there's opportunities, I think, today for you, because I've seen you in F2. You've got a very good feel for the car. Is that something you can take to this very tricky track we have here in Portimao?
Yeah, definitely. I think this year the race pace has been my strength. There's a lot of unknowns coming into the day. It's a new track. FP2 was like pretty much no representative high fuel running. So it's definitely going to be about adapting on the fly, and for sure the tire management is going to be key. So hopefully I can take advantage of that and pick up a few positions.
What about race pace with the car itself? What is it like compared to qualifying going into a race? Are you in a better situation with the car in the race?
I mean, I think being realistic, looking at the past two races, if anything, the potential in qualifying has been a bit stronger than the potential in the race. But that being said, it is a new track. As George said earlier as well, there's a lot of wind. The conditions are going to be very tricky. So I think more so than the outright pace of the car, it's going to be about, minimizing the mistakes, staying on track. We saw what happened last time we went to a new track at the race start. So yeah, I'm sure not a lot of the drivers have race experience here, like myself. Hopefully we can take advantage of some misfortune of others.
Right, have a good race.
Thank you.